All right, everybody. I'm Logan Alec. I'm a CPA. Today, I'm going to walk you through the Paycheck Protection Program sample loan application, step by step, line by line, question by question, number by number. SBA just dropped this, and this is going to be huge. If you're watching this video, I assume you know how huge the PPP is going to be, so I'm not going to labor that point. Now, when can you actually apply for this thing? Friday, April 3rd. So why did the SBA put this application out now if you can't apply until Friday? I'll tell you why. So that you know what to expect. All right? This is practice. Okay? Friday is game time. You want to get it all done now, get the work done now, fill this thing out now, print it out, save it to your computer, whatever. So that on Friday, when you actually go to your Sba Lenders website and fill it in, you'll know exactly what to do. You'll know what numbers to put in. You'll know what information to put in. Boom, boom, boom. So you'll be first in line to get that cash while everyone else is freaking out. Oh, what do I do? I don't know. You'll know exactly what to do. All right. Now let's talk about SBA lenders for a second. Not every bank is an SBA lender. Okay. Now, you may have got an email from your bank if it is. I got an email yesterday from Chase about the Paycheck Protection Program loan, right? You can apply for this online. Right, so don't hate me because you're gonna have to apply online when you already filled out this PDF. The PDF is practice, like I said. So you can go to your bank if your bank is an SBA lender. Now, there is a platform that I send my clients to because I find that they work faster than traditional banks for SBA loans. Okay, there's a link down in the description down there. go.moneydoneright.com/PPP. Yes, that's obviously an affiliate link. I will get a commission, but that is how people like you support this channel so I can continue making content like this. I'm doing this for free, okay? I've seen people out there right now charging, loan doc fees, even though they're not supposed to for this loan, but they're calling it consulting fees or whatever, right? Doing this for free. I would really appreciate it if you used that link if you're looking for an SBA lender. Okay. Now, let's get rid of me and let's go to where you need to go. Let's actually walk through this application form, sample application. So you got to go to sba.gov/document, blah, blah, blah. This is really long. There's actually 2 dashes here, which is really confusing. So this link is actually just in the description to this video. All right. So it's going to be the first link down there. So go to that link and then you're going to hit download PDF. And then you're going to download it to your computer. You're going to open it up. Here's what it looks like. Now, I'm on a Chromebook, right? So I have all this weird kind of editor stuff here. I don't mind it. This is what's important right here. Now, right off the bat, this is a little confusing to me because you have both independent contractor and self-employed here. Now, in many contexts, those mean the same thing, right? If you're an independent contractor, you're self-employed. And I looked on the SBA.gov website. Okay, what do you mean? Like, what's the distinction here? Now, I couldn't really find anything on the SBA.gov website on what their distinction, what they mean between independent contractor and self-employed is. I'm assuming that independent contractor means like, hey, you work for one company and you're in 1099, right? Assume self-employed is maybe you have your own business, right? And you're paying people, employees, and whatnot, okay? But I'm sure that your SBA lender, whoever you use, if you use my link or you go to some other, SBA bank, SBA approved bank, then they're going to have a better question that gets at this. Okay. But just for now, for this sample, I'm just going to check self-employed. Not going to spend too much time here, right? Legal name, DBA if you have one, your address. This is your corporate headquarters, so to speak. Someone asked on my EIDL disaster loan video, hey, what if I have different job sites? Like, what do I put? Well, you're going to put, your corporate headquarters, the address that you put on your Secretary of State form, the address where you get your business mail. Right? The address that's on your business bank account. That's what you put here. Your EIN, if you don't have an entity or sole prop, you'll put your SSN, phone, contact, email. Now, average monthly payroll. You got to be careful here because you got to look down the instructions down here. For purposes of calculating average monthly payroll, most applicants will use the average monthly payroll for 2019, excluding costs over $100,000 on an annualized basis for each employee. So, I do a little math. Let's say that you're a one-person S corp. Let's say you pay yourself $150,000 last year in 2019. This says you can't use more than $100,000, right, for purposes of this form. So the maximum you can include for yourself is $100,000 if you paid yourself over $100,000 last year. Now, just doing a little bit of quick math, $100,000 times 12, right? That's 8,333.33. So if you're a one-person business, S corp, and you pay yourself a salary and it's more than 100 grand, the most you can put here is this. Now, what if you had another employee that you paid more than 100 grand, right? Well, then you would multiply that by 2, right? So if you paid, yourself 100 grand, 150 grand, someone else 120 grand, this is what you would put in the monthly. Now, for people who made less than 100 grand, you would just put their average monthly payroll. So if you paid some guy or some gal, 80 grand, you just divide that by 12, right? And you could add that in, right? So what is that? So we had, 16,667. That's for you and the other employee paid more than 100 grand. And then, where'd it go? 80,000 divided by 12, plus 6,666. Wow, I'm doing a lot of 666 here. Don't read into that. So, you'd put 23,334, right? That's assuming you're paying yourself over 100 grand, someone else over 100 grand, and someone else, 80, right? Then what's the loan amount? Okay, so you multiply this by 2.5. 23,334 times 2.5. 58,335. Number of jobs. In this example, right? 3. Okay. What are you going to use this loan for? Payroll, right? You just put what you're going to use this loan for. Now, if you have a business entity, okay, corporation, partnership, LLC, you got to put all the owners here. All right, you got to put their name, their title, ownership percentage, their tax ID. It says EIN here, right? So I'm assuming that, if the business you're applying for is an LLC and it's owned by some other LLC, you would put that entity's EIN there. But in most cases, I assume that individual people own your business, whether it's yourself or yourself and a partner, and their SSN, right, and their home address. Okay, this is the same here, right? This, and I should probably make this different so it's not confusing. Anyway, okay, so you got to put the owners there. If you have more than 2 owners, attach a separate sheet. Again, these businesses, they're going to have these Sba Lenders. They're likely going to have their own application. That'll make this easier. So, all right, now these questions down here. Now, these are pretty easy questions. Is the business or any owner of the business presently suspended, debarred, proposed for debarment, declared eligible, voluntarily excluded from participation in this transaction by any federal department or agency, or presently involved in any bankruptcy? Okay. I'm going to say no. But if you are involved in a bankruptcy right now, or your business is, or any of these apply to you, you'd put yes. But I can assume no. Has the business, any of its owners, or any business owner controlled by any of them ever obtained a direct or guaranteed loan from FDA or any other federal agency that is currently delinquent or has defaulted in the last 7 years and caused a loss to the government? This isn't just asking, have you had a SBA loan the last 7 years? It's asking, have you had an SBA loan or another government loan for your business or for you, right? Or any business that your business owns. If you ever received a loan from the SBA or any agency that you were delinquent on or defaulted that caused a loss to the government? You can assume no. Is the business or any owner an owner of other business or okay? Is the business or any owner an owner of any other business or of common management with any other business? So this is asking, look, okay, Mr. Business Owner or business itself, Mrs. Business Owner, Ms. whatever, do you own some other business? Okay. If so, you got to put yes, and you got to have to say what those are. All right. And you got to describe the relationship. So, let's say I have my business, Alec Media LLC. Let's say I also had another business that I ran. I have to also include on this application, okay, I also own this other business, ABC Manufacturing or something. But I'm going to assume no for this because I assume most of you out there are one-person businesses, or you just have one business. That's your thing. Then, has the business received an SBA economic injury disaster loan between January 30th, 2020 and April 3rd, 2020. Okay, this is asking if you received it. It's not just asking if you applied. So if you applied, right, you watched my video from earlier this week about the EIDL disaster loan, you haven't received the money yet, check no. Okay, and I'm pretty darn sure that's the vast majority of you. And look, it's fine to apply for both PPP and EIDL. They just can't be used for the same expenses. You can't double dip. All right. Now these questions down here. Are you presently subject to an indictment, criminal information, arraignment, or other means by which formal criminal charges are brought in? So anything, look, are you in jail right now? Or are you being charged with a crime right now? Are you on probation or parole? I'm going to assume no. Fortunately, if you say yes, it will not be approved. But you got to be honest. Within the last 7 years, for any felony or misdemeanor for a crime against a minor, have you been convicted, pleaded guilty, pleaded nolo contendere, been placed on pretrial diversion, So look, I assume that you good people out there, you have not done anything like this. So I'm going to assume it's no. Also, you got to initial after each of these, okay? And then you got to affirm, you're a citizen or a lawful permanent resident. Or if you're not, you're going to put no. But unfortunately, your loan will not be approved. But still, you got to be honest. And I mean, come on. They know, guys. They know. All right. So then you got to read all these representations down here that you've read all this, that you're going to use your SBA loan proceeds only for business purposes. I kind of like this one. To the extent feasible, I'll purchase only American-made equipment and products. To the extent feasible. Okay, that sounds like there's a lot of leeway there, right? Of course, you're not doing anything illegal. All right, so the business and each 20% or greater owner must certify in good faith to all the below by initially next to each one. So if it's just you're going to initial. Right. Current economic uncertainty makes this loan request necessary to support the ongoing operations of the applicant. We're in a crisis right now, right? Of course you need this money. The funds will be used to retain workers and maintain payroll or make mortgage payments, lease payments, and utilities. So it's just those core costs, right? They want to keep people employed. They want you to stay employed. They want your employees to stay employed. That's the whole point of this, right? They want people to keep their jobs and to be able to make their basic payments that they need to keep running. Not for some crazy off the wall expenditure, but just that core money that you need to run your business. Okay. And that they have this warning here, right? If you're using it for unauthorized purposes, the federal government may pursue criminal fraud charges. Okay. Documentation verifying the number of full-time equivalent employees on payroll, as well as the dollar amounts of payroll costs, blah, blah, blah. We provide to the lender. So this is just saying, look, you're going to have to submit further documentation, right? They're not just kind of going to look at this and say, oh, okay, okay, that looks good. No, you're going to have to submit the actual forms documenting all your expenses and all that. All right, this is about the loan forgiveness, okay? Loan forgiveness will be provided for the sum of documented payroll costs, covered mortgage interest payments, covered rent payments, covered utilities. Due to likely high subscription, it is anticipated that not more than 25% of the forgiven amount may be for non-payroll costs, right? They're prioritizing payroll here, especially for the forgiveness portion, right? Because that's the most important thing, to keep people employed. You got to say, hey, during the period beginning on February 15, 2020, ending on December 31st, 2020, the applicant will not receive another loan under this program. You're just saying this is true and accurate, and that if you falsified any statement, you could be in big trouble. I know the lender will calculate the eligible loan amount using tax documents I've submitted, so tax returns, right? I affirm that these tax documents are identical to those I submitted to the IRS. So don't be shady. Don't give them a fake tax return. That is very illegal, and they will know, and you will get in big trouble. So, all right. So you're going to sign down here. Signer of owner of applicant business, date, name, title. So that's it. That is the sample form. Again, when you actually apply on the your SBA Lenders website, it is likely going to look different, right? But asking for the same core information. They may ask for some more documentation. I'm not sure when those docs are going to be requested. Is it going to be through you're going to upload it to some portal on the SBA Lender website, or is the SBA going to come back and ask for them later? We're going to have to see. Or is the lender going to come ask and wait for them later? They just want to get these in the door. We're going to have to wait and see. I will definitely be doing another update about this on Friday, if not before. Definitely on Friday, I'm going to walk through an application here on the channel. So if you don't want to miss anything, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm also covering a lot of other stuff right now related to what's going on, the stimulus checks, just general money saving advice. So if you want to make sure you don't miss anything, go ahead and click that subscribe button down there. And I will talk to you later this week, if not tomorrow or later today. Bye-bye.